Hey there. Hey there, Coach Bonnie. This video is going to be 15 minutes long on shoulder stretching. So if you're a swimmer with tight shoulders or the biking shoulders hurt, this is a video to watch. So we're going to do this kind of impromptu. You can be on your yoga mat or anywhere. So we're going to start standing up and we're going to focus on the shoulder blades. So keeping the arms active but kind of halfway, we are going to bring the shoulder blades together with an inhale and then exhaling around the back. Inhaling open and exhale round the back, tuck the chin. Inhale open. Exhale round the back, tuck the chin. One more time, inhaling open and holding it. With your exhale, we're going to move to eagle arms. So the right crosses under the left. The arms, you can stay here. The arms are pressing against each other or wrapping around. The modification for this, if your arms are just not in the game, is to have a straight arm, don't let it bend, straight arm, and stretch like this. Okay, so you're either here or with your straight arm. And inhaling open, exhale round the back. Inhaling open, exhale round the back. Inhaling open, exhale, and then the left under the right. Eagle arms on the opposite side. So you're here, the hands are active, or you're here, or you're here. And then inhaling open and bring the hands down. So we're going to bend side to side for a second. So exhaling over to the side, inhale up and over with an exhale. Inhale over and continuing to the left. Inhale up, over to the right. Inhale up to the left. Inhale up, over to the right. Now we're going to add the arms. So coming up and over, inhaling the arms up, exhaling to the left, inhaling the arms up, exhaling to the right. The modifications, if your shoulders are cranky, bring them out. We're working on stretching the lats, so this is fine too. Bringing your hands out more in front of you instead of trying to keep them by your ears, which can cause pinching right here. So the arms can go forward, and we're continuing with the breath. So as you reach, I'm pushing my left hip out, and I am really reaching with this hand. I feel a stretch all the way from my hip up through here, up to my elbow. Inhaling up, over to the other side. A couple more times, inhaling up and over, inhaling up and over. Very good. So interlacing the fingers, pushing the palms away, seeing how that feels. Okay? And then inhaling the hands all the way up. Now if you have tight, cranky shoulders and it's pinching right here and it says, no way, Jose, go ahead and bend your elbows, okay, and bring the hands up. So if you're here, that's great. If you're here, don't let your back sway, okay? Keep your core engaged. While we're doing this activity, don't have your shoulder blades as high as possible. Bring your shoulder blades down your back and your hands up and back. It's a lot of work. And go ahead and release that. So find the bent arms again, inhaling the shoulders towards the spine. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. And exhale, round. Inhale, open. And exhale. One more time, inhaling open, and then the hands down. So finding your right hand, the right hand is going to be active and it's going to be behind your back, kind of like here. So you can stay here or reach the hand all the way across. So you're looking like this. Okay. So try to minimize how much this is rolling forward. Use your back muscles to pull the shoulder blade towards the spine to get a nice stretch. Okay? And once you have whatever variety, if you're here or whatnot, we will continue with this stretch by bringing the left ear towards the left shoulder. So you can go straight over this first time. We're going to stop and hold this for a little bit, so use your exhale to lengthen the muscles. As you exhale, imagine that the muscles are letting go in the neck. So what's going on here is supraspinatus that comes through here, gets really tight, hard to stretch, causes impingement right here when it gets too tight. So we have to stay here a little bit. Inhale the head up, keep the arms where they're at. You'll have to experiment to where your neck's the tightest, but you can move your chin around and then stretch again. A word of caution is if you're moving your chin around while you're stretching, be very, very careful, because you're putting stress on the vertebrae and then moving them while you're stretching can cause needy vertebrae to be angry. So the better option is to come up, shake a little, change, and then go into the stretch. Okay, so releasing that, shake the arms a little bit. Moving to the left, the hand is active, comes behind, stays here while you bring this back, or grabs the arm. If you're doing this in front of a mirror, see if your shoulders are crooked. Mine might be. The action is to press the hand into the back, shoulder blade down and towards your spine. Okay? For you newbies doing yoga, this is your first bound pose. Okay, so then bringing your right ear towards your right shoulder. Use your breath to lengthen the muscle. Every time you exhale, imagine that the muscle is letting go. Tell the muscle to let go. Think of your favorite color while you're stretching this muscle. A lot of neck problems, headaches, come from this area being too tight because the tight muscles are putting stress on the vertebrae, squishing the discs, making your head tight, all kinds of stuff. So if you were to find your neck stretch that works for you, inhale the head up and then move to a different spot and stretch some more. Experiment safely with what works for you, and then remember that and do it consistently. Okay, inhaling up and shake the shoulders around a little bit. Okay. So we're kind of working with the neck muscles, the shoulder muscles a little bit. You can just go ahead and do this straight one, and if you wanted to, add a little bit of weight, but you need to be careful that you're not being aggressive with finding perhaps the levator that can get really tight. So we would stay here once you've found a spot that you want to stay at. Not overly aggressive, using your breath to lengthen the muscle. And then bringing the head up, shaking it around a little bit, releasing everything. And then finding the tight side on the other side. A lot of times our neck will be tighter one side to the next because maybe our swim stroke on one side to the next is different. Or we have habits throughout our day that are causing tightness on one side to the next. So one stretch on one side might be different than the other. Okay, inhaling up and shaking it around a little bit. I'm going to show you this stretch. You need to be gentle with it. If it ends up hurting your neck, don't do it. I like it a lot. It helps to stretch right here. And you know the biking neck gets really tight right here. So after I've done all that and kind of loosened everything up, and I have mostly full range of motion and my neck's not hurting, feels good today. So I look down, I test it out, and then I will gently put my arm weight on my head. I make sure that I can still breathe. My core is lifted up. I'm just putting a little bit of extra weight right here So for you people that are in yoga class, this would be the same as like rabbit pose, except you're putting all of your weight on your head. Or maybe plow pose, where you're putting all of your weight on your head. This is a little bit safer in that it's easy for you just to let your hands go. So continuing to stretch. Remember, we're trying to hold this for a little bit longer. Okay, inhaling up, shaking it around a little bit. And then what I want you to do is, once you're down here with not a lot of weight, angle your head off to the side and stretch it again. And then we're going to stay here for a little bit. Remember to use your exhale to talk the muscle into releasing and letting go. Even just saying the thought letting go can help the muscle to release. Okay, inhaling up, shake it around a little bit, and then down and kind of over to the other side. And then inhaling up, shaking it around. What I want you to do now is squeeze these up, squeeze, 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 and release. And squeeze them up and release. And one more time, squeeze the shoulder blades up towards your ears and release. Okay, awesome. One stretch that you might see a lot of, and a word of caution is to not be so aggressive right here. What happens here is the biceps get tight. The bicep tendons running through here get over too tight in the grooves, and they get tendonitis, tendinosis, inflammation, because the problem is tight here, but in our stretching we're too aggressive and we get to make these angry. So you want to get to the point where when you're stretching you don't feel it here at all. So that's a tall order though, because the biceps are hard to stretch because of the function of them. I mean, they're hard to stretch. So a stretch that I like to do well is a lot of times you just see people crank into this, and it can be really aggressive right here. So what we want to do is we want to first of all get our hands, palms connected together, okay? And then the action is to bring the elbows back. What we're trying to do is engage the back rotator, the lats, pulling the shoulder blades on the back, and so functionally I'm bringing my shoulder blades together here. So as you're stretching, keeping your abs in, okay? And if this is good for you, then you can straighten your arms and pull your hands away from your back. Or you can stay here. And remember, we're staying here a little bit longer to help the muscles loosen up and the fascia get longer. Okay? If this is all you can do, that's fine. Just don't be aggressive with it. Okay, good. And then release that and shake that out. Okay. So for the next bit, we're going to do some shoulder stretches that are targeted for this area. What we're going to do is always plant your hand and the hand be very active on the wall. This is going to help activate all the muscles. If you have any nerve impingement, don't let that scare you. It's just kind of stuck wiring. This is going to help keeping your hand active. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our hand up here, and then I'm kind of stepping forward a little bit with my chest, and I'm just asking my shoulder, is it happy? Is it mostly quiet up here at the top? If it's not, then this isn't the stretch for you. So once I've negotiated with my shoulder and I'm keeping my elbow bent, I drop my chest down. See how I'm bending right here? I'm leaning into it. If you stay here a little bit, the stretch is going to change, might get more intense. If the elbow starts hurting, just ease off of it a little bit. It's just the elbow joint taking a little bit too much of the force. Okay? And then so switching to the other side. Attach the hand up top, negotiate with the top of the shoulder, ask it how it's doing, and then drop the chest down. Okay, and release that and shake the shoulder around a little bit. The next step, if your shoulders are still in the game, is to plant the hand shoulder width high, shoulder height. The hand is active, and I'm getting myself close to the wall. You might be here, and this might be enough stretch for you. My elbow is slightly bent. My hand is active, and you should feel a stretch and it feel tight all the way, maybe from your wrist all the way up to the chest here. So going into it slowly, asking the shoulder, making sure the shoulder is happy. Eventually, maybe getting the shoulder to the wall, maybe. And if you're here, the next step is to pull the chest open, but be cautious because that really creates a lot of pressure on the stretching side. Go ahead and release that and shake. So the hand attaches to the wall, it's active. Starting to peel the chest open, you're asking the shoulder how it's feeling, and then press back to the wall. And go ahead and release that. And one other side you can do, this is pretty universal because it kind of just depends on where you're at. You can get all the way through here just by here, so I like to stretch here by being more straight on and dropping the hip down and the torso down here. And release that, and then the opposite side. Attaching the hand, and then just dropping down. There you go. A little bit of shoulder stretching. Make sure that you aren't too aggressive, and that after you're stretching, the shoulder doesn't hurt worse. So pay attention to what stretches work for you and what don't. So hope you enjoy. More videos at BonnieKissinger.com. Thanks.